Zach, where are you? Where are you, Zach? Come back to the frame. Let's talk football. What do you got? You want to talk about football?
I was just saying how it's only the 57th Super Bowl. I just feel like there would be 1,000 more Super Bowls. It's the biggest event in sports.
Kind of bananas, huh?
Yeah.
Baseball's been around for a little bit. Do you guys want to talk about your teams losing? Is it sad? Do you not want to talk about it?
My team didn't lose, so get your facts straight.
No, your team didn't. Your team do a good thing and beat somebody important.
They killed Aaron Rodgers.
I saw that. Yep.
I was pumped. I was heartbroken when the Seahawks won. So they needed the Seahawks to lose, and then the Lions needed to win to get in. The Seahawks won in overtime. The Lions said, you know what? We're still going to go send Aaron Rodgers home packing. Went into Lambeau, won a hell of a game.
Can I ask a question about fandom?
Yes.
Your team missed the playoffs by one game kind of scenario type of deal.
They actually had the same record as the Seahawks, but they lost season, unfortunately. But yeah.
Okay. Was it more exciting for you to watch that than the past seasons where they've just been out of it from like week 4?
Oh, not even close. Way more exciting. I actually looked forward to the games. In years past, when the Lions are going 4-12, I don't care. I care about my fantasy football team. I don't care about the Lions. But like this year, like I was pumped to watch them every week. Like I was still pumped for that game last night, even though the refs did everything they could to make sure the Packers won, and they made sure the Seahawks won. I don't know who was paying them. They were getting paid something, but the refs sucked. Both games sucked. I don't play in the NFL, so I can say the refs suck.
You put some good tweets out there. I appreciate your good tweets.
Because I was so pissed off watching both games. It blows my mind. I know it's a hard job. I couldn't do it, but they're terrible. They're terrible at it.
Would you say reffing football is like the hardest out of all of the officials?
Yeah, probably, because it happens fast. And there's little stuff like, is that enough to call it, or do I let that one go? Like you could call holding every play. You could realistically probably call pass interference almost every pass. Like, we're gonna let that one go.
Hey, yeah, he got there just a split second early enough.
But they were calls in both games that blew my mind, because like the intentional grounding, Zach, I know you were watching the Seahawks game. Like Geno Smith threw it to nobody. They didn't call intentional grounding. Like, okay, guess we're not calling that. Geno Smith ran into a defender after going out of bounds. They called unnecessary roughness on the defender. In the Lions game, Amon-Ra St. Brown caught a first down. I don't know how they went to replay and said it was incomplete. People should be in jail for this.
See, that one was close to me because he like landed on it.
Zach, that to me is where the replay is too much. Like, in what world is that not a catch? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. In what world are you like, oh, he didn't catch that? It's like, if the ground's not there, he still caught the football.
In the Jets game too, Garrett Wilson had like the same exact play called on the field, catch, and then they changed it to a no catch, and they said, like, if you look right there, like as it's hitting the ground, his hand's not under it. And I was like, I mean, whatever.
I think it's the best. This is the last thing I'll say about the refs. It's the best when like the refs will miss a call, and then like they'll bring on like Terry McCauley or like the old refs that are now doing analysts, and they're like, yeah, the refs kind of missed that one. Like they try to say it in a nice way. It's like, yeah, holy shit, they definitely missed it.
Do you know how hard being an NFL ref though is? Though I was reading. I know. I'm not that doesn't excuse their own calls, but I'm just saying this. I think it's really interesting. Yeah. I was reading a retrospective on when they had the replacement refs. If you guys remember back in 2012, obviously culminating famously with the Hail Mary. Mm-hmm. Not any of those refs, I believe there was almost 180 of them, ever worked another NFL game, which is kind of incredible. That none of like the slot they tried for months. They had training camps and all these different things, and they just couldn't get anyone who could be anywhere near good enough to do it at the NFL level.
And yeah, exactly. It is very hard. It just sucks when it's situations. And there was 100%. Multiple, I thought, in the Seahawks game, multiple that I was like, this is setting up like the Lions are losing, like they're going home. And
also it is crazy how much they do get right too, which is like, the difference between like you're watching on TV and you're like, how was that not a fucking face mask? And then like you see his head move one way and his hand like misses, and you're like, how?
And that's the thing. See that? We blow up the mistakes. Like did you see the Deshaun Watson one yesterday? He had his head ripped off and they didn't call it.
And we get the benefit of slow motion replay all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Baseball doesn't matter. Baseball, basketball, football, like the centimeter play in baseball that in real time you look at each other in the dugout and go, "Oh, safe, out, safe."
That's the
like,
good one too. Is like you're talking on the bench, like, oh my God, he's safe by a mile. How do you miss that? And then they challenge it, and he was out by like a foot, and you're like, I mean, I got no clue.
Yeah. But these guys have to do it in real time. Do you want to talk about
what we should say? I'm sure he's a listener because he's from Chicago, but hoping for the best with Liam Hendricks.
Yes.
Came out yesterday, had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
Sucks.
The entire baseball community is thinking of Liam Hendricks. Amazing player, amazing competitor, really good dude and teammate. I've heard, but I've talked to him at the union stuff, and it's always been a really nice guy to talk to. And we're all thinking about him
for sure.
Can we talk about nothing's really happening in the baseball free agency? There's a couple of trades. One of Zach's teammates got traded. Zach has some new teammates.
Yeah, Cody Clemens and Gregory Soto.
And
Phillies.
Soto's like a dude.
Yeah, him and Alvarado have the two hardest, like I think on average, of lefty fastballs in baseball over the last however many years. And you get them in the 7th, 8th inning.
Who'd they get back? Like big prospects? Because I was thinking about that. I was like, I feel like I know it was like during like Sunday Night Football or whatever happened during football, but I was like, this is kind of like swept under the rug. That's a pretty good reliever getting traded to a World Series contender.
Yeah, they got back a catcher and like, I don't know, I forgot his name. And then
Phil Matten, right?
Nick Matten.
Phil's his brother, the cutter guy.
Oh, for the Astros.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Maton and then Vierling was the other one.
Vierling too.
He was in the bigs last year, right?
They were both.
Yes, they both were. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously it's a good enough trade to both sides. Think it's good enough. I don't know much about either, but I know that those are some two tough lefty ABs that you're going to have as in the back end of a game for the Phillies. So,
I think it's a good deal for the Phillies, and I think that they're doing the right thing at this time in their cycle, which is not being afraid to trade guys who have had a little bit of time in the big leagues because you're trying to win tomorrow.
This is your go all in time. Like if you're the Phillies, like you go get whatever you need. Like midway through the season, they'll be making another deal, whatever they need, because they're there. Like they're the team that's there.
Do they have a shortstop? Or is it
Trey Turner?
Are they going to? Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Maybe you've heard of him.
No, because I forgot. Because what's his face was playing. Stott was playing at short last year in the World Series.
Yeah,
and I forgot about.
He'll probably play second.
Yeah,
because Segura's gone, right?
Segura's gone. He went to Miami.
That's sick. Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Correa?
Yeah, I would like to. So my point of this was.
Producer Tom checking in here to tell you we recorded this Monday night, this episode coming out Tuesday, right after we found out the news that Carlos Correa is signing a 6-year, $200 million contract with Minnesota Twins. Obviously, we didn't know that when we recorded this. I think this segment's still a lot of interesting stuff, but obviously you guys know more than we did at the moment, so that's why you won't hear us talk about it on this week's episode. Next week, we'll check in with Carlos Correa and that 6-year, $200 million contract. Enjoy.
There's still some guys out there. There's not a ton of guys out there, but there's definitely still some guys out there. It seems like the reliever market hasn't really broke yet. Some guys have signed, but there's definitely a lot more relievers to be.
That's why I'm still at home. I'm waiting for the dominoes.
Best reliever on the market's available.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for the big dominoes to fall so I see what my contract looks like.
Yep. But it feels like there is at least a couple teams that have to be just waiting to see what happens here. And you obviously no one is going to give away what they're thinking, what's happening with Correa, but they have to be sniffing around in a bunch of places. Some teams, like I'm sure Boris is shopping him. Teams have to be reaching out and kind of having feelers for what's going to happen. Because if this one falls apart,
supposedly, I mean, the word reporting wise was that nobody had talked to Boris or Correa's camp in a while, and last week was the first time that he had supposedly started. I think the Twins heard from him according to reporting. So it seems like they're starting to put feelers back out, which obviously calls into question what you would think what's happening right now with the Mets, because that deal's been held up for what now? Like almost 3 weeks. I mean, I know obviously holidays happen, but that's a long time to be.
I saw that the Mets are still the favorite to land him. But like my thing is the Twins offered him whatever, right? Whatever it was, 290, right? Yeah. So like he played for them. They knew something was wrong. Clearly, like they're willing to offer him that much money. What is the holdup? Like I understand he got hurt or he slid into second at some point, but like the Twins know this, right? So like if they're willing to give him this money, what could be so bad in the physical?
That's what I'm always curious. Like obviously all the different like laws prohibiting it, but like these are the ones where I wish I knew like what is it? Like does he have like a partially torn this or that? And like eventually like I'm just curious as to why there's such a long like wait. And the thing is, I don't get what's like now they're negotiating, but it's like, hey man, like we know you're hurt. We're going to offer you this now. Like, I don't know how you could argue it.
It also has to be hard now to be a doctor that signs off and says yes, because that's kind of their, if a doctor signs off and says yes, and then he gets hurt, then they're never working again. So, or not for a team. So that's probably a challenge too, but it has to be really hard after you've had two big numbers tied to you to like, you thought that was all set seal, like you thought you were good, and now you're going to take a lesser number from that same team. Like that's probably really tough. And then do you do the thing again that's short term with an opt out at a big number, and then try to do this whole thing again next year? Like he's in a tough spot. That's a real challenge, and like
the thing about
just a complete mental cyclone going on there.
The thing about the doing another short term is though, if there's problems with your medical this year, I'm guessing there's going to be problems next year unless something happens this year. So it's like, all right, if you do a short term and try to do it over again, like teams are going to be like, well, you still have this possible injury, or like this could like, we're still not going to pay you that huge number.
It's interesting because it feels like this is something which, from a medical standpoint, I don't know that it makes any sense, but like it feels like this is something teams are willing to go short with, but not long with. But like I don't know what medical condition or what could be going on that somebody could be like, hey man, 5 years, 7 years, like we're good. 9,
it's
10, 12, don't let it.
It's got to be something where it's like, and I don't want to speculate too much on what it is, but you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something where if it does end up happening and he gets injured, like it could affect how he plays the rest. Like it's got to be like a back or something. Like, I feel like as a hitter,
well, they keep saying it's his ankle, that like surgically repaired ankle shin thing
that happened from 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like that's weird that'd be such a big issue then.
So weird that he was with the Astros for so long, never an issue, never been on the DL for it. Like, it's so weird.
And even if you get hurt, you can get surgery and be back the next year. Sorry, Zach, keep cutting you off.
No, it's all good. No, he aggravated it last year. I want to say towards the end of the year, sliding into second base. And then like, could that have flared something up that much? Like, I don't know.
But like Happ said, it's weird that teams would give him like, oh, we're okay giving you like 3, but we won't give you 10. It's like, I mean, in 3 or in a year, it could get hurt. But like, what's the difference?
Like, hey, yeah, we'll give you 3 years for $800 bazillion, but we're not going to give you that extra few more. Like, it's just weird.
Let's just up his calcium intake, make sure he's got strong bones, and roll him out there for the next 12.
Get some good pliability, like really loosen up that area. Get a good routine.
Get a good trainer for him.
It'll be fine.
Get rakes.
And I'm curious, like the first time that they saw it, where they or the Giants, right? They go do his physical. Like, do you think the doctor is like, hey guys, I don't like this. Yeah. And they're just like, wait, what the fuck do you mean you don't like this?
How do you bring that one up? Yeah. This guy's just signed a $36 million a year deal the year before. Like, you cannot possibly be expecting to see anything.
How happy was that doctor when the Mets said no too? He was like, I fucking told you.
Oh my God. Yeah. He was on the golf course, got the alert on his phone, and was like, yes.
You're rehired. You're rehired.
Tom, do you know what somebody could use to make sure that they're feeling really great?
Ian, did you know that 50% of men have symptoms that get in the way of enjoying sex? And do you want a better sex life? If so, you're not alone. Roman. Ian, it's time to talk about Roman. It's the digital health clinic for men. addressing a variety of sexual health needs and offering genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain a strong erection. Roman has discreet wipes that we've talked about. They help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman offers testosterone tests. At Roman, there is no waiting rooms and there is no hassle. It's a straightforward digital experience from the comfort of your own home. If medication or testing is appropriate, Roman will send it directly to your door. Everything arrives in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. To learn more about how you can achieve your own personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/johnboy today. That's ro.co/johnboy today for 20% off your entire first order. ro.co/johnboy.
Ro.co.
Ro.co.
Let's remember, if you're going to go to ro.co, you're using John Boy. Okay. If you're going to go to DraftKings, if you're going to go download DraftKings, that's Compound. Don't get them confused. DraftKings, Compound, ro.co, John Boy. Tom.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about the Yanks for a second.
Okay.
Because I did go on Talking Yanks.
You did.
And I talked about our friend Rafael Ortega. We've all played with him.
Did he sign with the Yankees?
He signed with the Yanks, minor league deal.
Sick.
That guy can hit the ball in the air to right field.
Which is a valuable skill at Yankee Stadium.
Zach, did you ever play with him? I guess not. No. Damn it. Great guy. Signed with the Yanks. So the Yanks have some stuff going on. A lot of good players. On the Yanks. All right. A lot of good players. But we don't necessarily know how they're gonna do third base, shortstop, or left field.
Pretty much if you go left of center field, you don't know what's going on right now. If you put a gun to my head, I think Donaldson's back at third. I don't know what's going on in left. I think they're going to try with what they have right now. But even the guy like Tim LeCastro just signed a minor league deal with the Mets yesterday. So that was another option that they've had the last couple of years that's now gone. So, yeah, it's, not to put you on the spot here, but a lot of Yankee fans are clamoring for a certain former all-star to get traded for. That's been on a lot of people's minds on Yankees.
Brian Reynolds.
Brian, you're not wrong. That's the other one. Yeah, it's one of you two.
Real quick on the Brian Reynolds thing before we continue with the Yankees things. I love when guys say, I want to be traded and teams say, too bad. I love that because you are the player. They are the company. You want to go somewhere else? Stinks, man. We think you're good. We want you here.
Well,
I don't know when it became this thing where people are like, I want to get traded. I don't like you here. Too bad. You're going to pay millions of dollars.
I think it's hard because once you say you want to get traded, it kind of cuts the legs out from under the person who's trying to trade you, and they lose a little bit of leverage. So
for sure, because they're like,
we do that behind closed doors, and then like that GM can be like, oh yeah, I don't want to get rid of him, but if you give us something great. But if like they're actively trying to move him now, that's tough. But wait, can we talk about the Yankees? Let's not get into this.
Sorry, I just had to say that real quick. I had to say that too quick.
Well, I have a couple things. One, Yankees fans crack me up because they're so spoiled. They win an all-star at literally every position. Second thing.
Very true.
Yeah, 100%.
Their options at shortstop are two really highly touted prospects in Volpe. What's the other one? Peraza, and then you have a guy that's won a Gold Glove at third base and is like a legitimate big league baseball player in IKF. And then has he ever been an all-star? I don't think so, but definitely has a Gold Glove.
Can Gleyber not play short anymore?
Gleyber's pretty much full-time second.
Yeah, they said after, because it went pretty poorly in 21, they said they were not going to be doing Gleyber at short anymore. Like as in a pinch, they would. Like I think he played 1 or 2 games there last year, but
not going into the season with him. Gotcha.
I was going to say also, sorry, very quickly, Oswaldo Cabrera, also another option as well.
They have 3 options at shortstop, okay, including 1 guy with a Gold Glove and 2 like really like prospects that any other team in baseball would be like, freak, yeah. And then they have options in left field between Hicks, who is definitely has been an all-star, maybe one time. Maybe look it up. He had a couple of really good years.
Ever been an all-star.
I'm almost 100% sure he's not been.
Okay, look it up. Hicks. You have Rafael Ortega, who signed a minor league deal. You also have Oswaldo Cabrera. Their names are all the same. What's the guy's name? They all.
No, there's
Cabrera plays outfield.
There's two guys with the same name.
There's Oswaldo Peraza, and then there's Oswald Cabrera. Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Cabrera's the outfielder.
Ian, those are not the same name.
It's basically the same
They have
name.
very different last names.
Actually, you know what? I got to be honest. I just got it backwards. It's Oswald Peraza and Oswaldo Cabrera. So it is.
Thank you. It's confusing.
Confusing.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, no.
Can I say though, very briefly, when we did have Scott on the show, one of the things he said after the show, he complimented all the Yankees rookies, including Oswaldo Cabrera, who has the ability to play both shortstop. He's kind of your fourth option at shortstop and left field as well. And he was one of the league leaders last year in, I believe, left or right field DRS, and had never played. Ian knows left field, and had never played the outfield at the professional level until last season. Pretty incredible.
So my point is about the Yankees.
What about Florial? Is he good?
He's still around as well, hanging around.
This is getting long-winded.
I'm naming another player that plays the outfield. That's what you're doing.
The Yankees have options. They have options, and we're not even talking about Giancarlo Stanton, who can play left field. And you're between Bader's a really good center fielder. Obviously, Judge is in there right every day, and then in left field you have between left field and DH. I guess you have Stanton. You have
Cabrera, all the guys.
Cabrera, and then you have our friend Rafael Ortega. So you have options there. You have options at short. It's gonna be really interesting to see how things go. But I think it's very funny that all the Yankees fans are like, "What are we gonna do?" It's like a lot of good players. I think it easy. This is what we do on this podcast. Besides talking about all of baseball, we also calm down Yankees fans every couple of weeks. Make sure everybody's doing all right. Just breathing into brown paper bags, and they just won like 100 games.
Ortega's gonna literally be a guy that's gonna go there, and people aren't. I feel like he's not like a too household of a name. Like, I mean, we're Cubs, so like we knew him.
Yeah.
But he's gonna go there, and if he plays like consistent, I bet he hits 25 out easy at that stadium.
It's gonna be tough because he's inherently where he is in his career. They will platoon him to some degree. Like he'll play against. He really crushes righties, but he hasn't been given the opportunity to hit lefties in his career. Just how it's been. But we looked it up on John Boy. When I was on Talking Baseball, Talking Yanks, we looked it up. He would have had 7 more homers last year
at Yankee Stadium.
And that's just in games at Wrigley. So in the 81 games, and he didn't even play all 81, but in the 81 games at Wrigley, he would have had 7 more pumps at Yankee Stadium with his balls hit at Wrigley Field last year. That's nuts.
The Yankees also signed Willie Calhoun,
DH,
and also ex-Cub Michael Hermosillo, who also plays outfield.
Yeah, I thought both those Hermosillo and Ortega. I mean, Ortega's a guy a year ago in 21 who had a 121 OPS plus in 103 games. I mean, that's a guy to get in a minor league contract for basically nothing is a great deal.
And look up the right-handed split. Look up how he hit against righties that year. The numbers were better than even the overall numbers because he absolutely crushes righties. So
yeah, he had 321 against righties that year.
Yeah, I mean, guy
900 OPS, and
guy rakes righties. Let's get into Sloan screen time. Let's tell the people about Sloan screen time. You know what, guys? I don't know if you guys know this, but I went to Napa this weekend with some friends, and I saw a lot of different toilets. All right, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Went to some wineries, a lot of different flushers.
I
a lot
hope
of Sloan flushers out there. A lot of Sloan flushers. Okay.
I hope they weren't Sloan, and I wish they backed up and got all over your nice shoes, and you had poop all over your shoes. A bunch of poop shoes.
Come on. I was good, okay, because I was like, ooh, I got to go to the bathroom, and then it was always a Sloan flusher. What's your screen time today? Brought to you by Sloan. If you need flushers, right. Sloan Valve.
I was just looking through the different free agents.
321.
Liar.
Tom, that's an amazing day.
That's why I'm calling Cat.
What have you been doing?
Call Cat.
Look at the screen, Dakota. Then
have you been on
somebody else's phone? You stole
computer all day.
We're grinding a lot of Blitzball over here, man. We're in the weeds.
What was yesterday there, Tom? That was a big bar. What was yesterday?
Sunday doesn't count.
Yeah,
Sundays aren't real days.
Zach,
it's taking forever to update.
5 hours and 5 minutes.
You tell me not to talk too close to the mic. Zach just ate it.
$5 and 5 minutes.
Can we not?
I'm still waiting for mine to update. It must be
3 hours and 7 minutes for me. I'm sorry, Tom. 3 hours and 7 minutes for me.
I thought I had a win today. Come on, fuck.
I apologize.
He's an hour behind.
And Dakota's got 10
Right,
hours. He's the first double digit, but he won't tell us.
Look at it. It's
Nah,
literally.
man.
Can you see?
No, you're
it?
on Tuesday, dog. You're on Tuesday, dog.
It's just loading. It's updating from yesterday at 2 a.m. for some reason. I'm gonna guess like probably 5:30. I'm gonna guess mine was higher than Zach's if I had to give you an honest assessment.
A pure guess from Dakota. He's not playing the game by the rules. We're gonna give him 10 hours.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Dakota, just tweet it out tomorrow. Tweet it out tomorrow.
Okay,
I
wait.
will.
I have to give the fans a little update. Here's a little update for the fans. We were gonna have a very big guest today. Didn't happen. Got pushed. Okay.
Shocker.
And
That's
next
never,
week
that doesn't ever happen here.
doesn't ever happen here. That's why I didn't say the name, because I was afraid this would happen. So next week we're gonna do the CubsCon thing. Okay, we're gonna do the CubsCon thing. We're gonna see how it goes. I think we're gonna put that episode out next week, and then the following week we're supposed to have our big special guest that I am excited about. So we're gonna have an episode next week. We don't know exactly what it's gonna be, and then 2 weeks hopefully we'll have a great guest. But we're gonna have episodes every week. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Episode 141 of the Compound Podcast for by Parse. I love Parse. You love Parse. Go plant a tree, get some Parse. See you next week.